Yeah, a sketch of the bottom of the tank here. The measurements are in centimeters. And I just realized I made the first mistake, or this is obviously the underside and the edge of the tank seen from above. The strengthening tubes are here, 3 of them, evenly spaced, and theoretically this one could probably be further from the edge. As the edge, there will be a tube out here too, of course, and the edge will be really stiff because of the plate and the 3 tubes above it. So it could probably carry more load for the same deflection. But anyway, I decided to have 3 strengthening tubes in the bottom, and I just realized I only have 6 meters of tubing, and it was cut into 2-meter pieces for transport, and I need one here, one here, one here, one there. So 4 plus 3, 7, and it's less than 6 meters, but it has already been cut, so I only have 6 pieces. So I'm 1 piece short. That means that one of these strengthening ribs here, or tubes, will have to be 2 millimeter thickness instead of the 3 millimeters I had planned. I hadn't really planned buying 3 millimeter thick tubing when I went to the steel shop to buy it, but I had only planned on buying 2, and then I realized I had 3 millimeter sidewalls too, so okay, I'll use that for the bottom. Anyway, we'll see. I have done some calculations on the deflection of these. If we take the other drawing here, like so, this one, I've calculated this without these strengtheners or stiffeners here, and I think I can't quite remember now. I'll bring the calculations along in another video, but I think if we calculated both ends as 3, so basically not welded into these, but just on lying on the top of the legs, then I think maybe the deflection was 4 millimeters, and with them fixed, it was less than 1 millimeter, I believe. Anyway, with this, I'm sure this won't deflect hardly anything. The only deflection we'll have will be in these, and they won't really be fixed here, because theoretically then this whole thing here could rotate inwards, so they won't be fixed, but they won't be free either. So maybe the deflection there will be, I don't know, probably less than 1 millimeter. I don't know, maybe I'll measure it once I fill it with water. That's a long explanation for 3 pieces of steel. I'm going to do video 1 piece, I guess, 1 close-up and 1 not so close-up. And I think that should be enough of bandsawing for this video series, or maybe not. We'll see. I'm doing some hand fitting of these. I have to hand file the bevel here so it will fit down in the radius of the band in the tank. And one of the ends here was really out of square, so I wonder if it's my bandsaw or the bandsaw at the steel shop. We will soon see, because the next piece I've cut at both ends. I suppose you can see that. I'm always impressed when somebody can't even adjust their bandsaw. And that's at the steel shop. All they do all day is cut steel. It's almost a millimeter out of true. I fitted all 3 bottom pieces. And there's less than 0.3 millimeter, or a 0.3 millimeter feeler gauge doesn't go underneath anywhere. So that's good. Now I will put the whole box up on some of the other tubes and level those. Then I'll tack in this here. And after I've tacked them, I'm going to cut holes on the outside of the box into the center of the tube. Because, let's see what you can see. If I just weld around here, I can't get it welded on the underside, and then the tube will fill up with coolant or water or whatever I have in here. If it fills up with water the first time, it might rust. So after I've tacked it, I'll cut holes from the outside into the tube and make the hole just as, or a little bit larger than the inside diameter of the tube, and I'll fully weld around on the outside. That way the inside of the tube will be part of the outside world and not the coolant and stuff inside here. I've leveled the box now with some shims underneath the 3x3 tubes, and it's leveled to within maybe 0.2 of a millimeter with the whole length here. Now we'll tuck these in and check the distance so they are in the correct place. So we'll start over there. All the tacks seem to have taken to both the plate and the tubes. So now I need to drill holes to weld for the outside of the tubes. I'll probably put some more heavy stringers on the tubes and the bottom later when I get all the tubes on the outside tacked into. I drilled the hole with like a 1/4" drill bit or 6mm, and then I used a step drill until I touched one of the edges of the tube inside here. And on the other side I used a belt grinder to open up the hole to that, but that took a long time and it really got dust all over the place. But now I figured out this one. I welded up all the holes from the outside, and I guess this last side, which I'm showing one of the holes over here, is slightly better than the other side, because I figured I'd first tack the, or not tack, but first weld the corners and then do the edges afterwards, and try to start inside. That means on the tube, then weld up, and then down again, and then up to the tube. So I was always sure to get good contact on the tube before I welded up to the plate. And I've filed it a bit so it's flat, because there's going another tube going over here. So I'm contemplating whether I should weld them on the inside too. Before I start welding on the tubes, I had to make another drawing. This is the coolant tank seen from above, and the gray is 3 by 3 centimeter pipes, and there's one there too behind the yellow. There's a 5 by 5 pipe here or tube. Yeah, whatever. The yellow is the mounting plate for the pump, and it already has holes in it for mounting. So I need to figure out if the holes ended up in the tubes or in the air or something. And this is the best solution, I think. And that welded onto that tube, and there are 2 nuts in that, and up there in that one in the center. And I'll have to make a boss here with a threaded M10 hole in it and weld it on the inside. And I had to use a I will have to use a 50 millimeter tube here, because underneath the elevator there will be another plate, like the 2 millimeter I've used for the rest of the tank. And that will go about to the edge of the yellow there, or a little past that way, and then another plate will sit on the rest of the box, and that needs support on the edge too. I got the box leveled the other way. I'd say it's within 0.5 millimeter on the meter length at least. I leveled on these tubes down there. And I got the bottom tubes on each side clamp and aligned. So now I'll tack them in. Since I am 1 piece short, or 1 meter short, or no, 73 centimeters short. Anyway, I'm going to weld these 2 pieces together, and then I have a good piece. The joint in this tube came out very close to the end, so I don't think it mattered much at all. It was I think there must have been a bend in the tube from the factory. Maybe there's some kind of bend in all of them. It was maybe a millimeter dent over a meter, or a little more than a meter when it was before I cut it. Yeah. Anyway, it worked fine. pieces are on. Only the middle pieces here, there, and on the other side is missing. I have finished welding all the tubes. They're not only tacked, but all the welding is done on all the tubes on the outside and on the inside. What is missing now is welding the seams. All the way down there, over there, and up here, and the same on that side to make it waterproof. And I'm missing the cross piece to hold the lid. Missing the mounting tubes for the feet. Yes, that's basically it. I sanded and cut and filed this piece to fit nicely. But then I figured I better do the inside welding before I weld this, or else it will be much more difficult to get to. So I guess I need to get this on end before I need to. That's what I'm going to do, because it will be much easier to weld. One side is finished. I hope the welds are waterproof. I think they are, because there's overlap between each string here and there. So we just have to wait and see. In the cross tube. No, only thing missing, or the only thing. Anyway, this crossover here to hold the last captive nut. So before we weld the last piece on here, the support for the pump and stuff, we need to figure out if this don't really work. I got a little piece of mild steel here, about 25 by 25 or an inch by an inch or something like that, and I'm going to square it up and make it 20 by 20, this side, and then we're going to drill and tap it for M10. clamped this piece here, and it's slightly below the surface of the tubes. At the outer edge here, it's maybe 0.5 millimeter or 20 thou or something, slightly more towards the inside. Because the plates here obviously pulled a little bit when I fully welded them on the inside. So I'll just tack this in place. I won't fully weld it, no point in that. I had the box outside and ground off all the welds on top here, so it's pretty smooth. Sanded it too. It was raining outside, so I wiped it down afterwards so we don't get any more rust than we need. I don't usually grind inside the shop because I don't want grinding dust on the ways of the machines, so I usually take stuff outside if it's possible. But now this should be pretty flat, so let's see if this is sitting. Oh yeah. Okay, and there's maybe less than 0.5 millimeter, maybe it's 10 thou or something here. So that's very good. I have decided to put on the cover plate first, or the lid, or because there's going to be 2 pieces of lid. One that's loose and can remove that wheel, and one that's underneath this one. I cut out the plate, made holes for the pump and stuff, and laid out the holes for mounting bolts. I was almost tempted to weld it on, but then I figured if we need to make modifications to it after everything is in order and stuff, then it would be a hassle. So it's going to be bolted down by M5 bolts, M5 rather. Let's see if we need any bolts on here. I didn't have enough of the countersunk screws, so it have to be normal cap screws. I think this is how far we'll come in this episode. The plate is bolted down and I marked holes here. So I'll remove the plate from the box and drill holes here, a little bit oversized. This is going to be M10, so I'll drill maybe 12mm holes or something like that, at least. And then I'll put this back on, or this one back on, and this one back on, and align everything. And I'll center punch the tubes where the nuts are going to be welded. That's in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys.